All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in NorCal Sports Network. Got a good one here for you tonight. Warriors, no, not Warriors. That was last night. Boy, that was awful. No. Giants, do the Giants make some trades? News out there. We'll get right into it. But before we do, let us thank our sponsor of this show, Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin. If you have any needs, give Chapman Law Group a call for your legal matters, 415-613-9483. Let them know that NorCal Sports Network sent you. All right, Los, little stuff out there in the news, different radio networks, foul territory, guys talking about different trades out there, and some of the names that came up. The usuals that we keep hearing: Arias, Cronenworth, Josh Naylor, guys that out there. Then Wade and Yaz were tossed out there as well, which we've kind of heard. We here on NorCal Sports Network, I think I did a video as soon as Yaz was signed to his $9.25 million deal. I said, I think he's going to be traded. There's no way they have him back for that amount of money, but it'll be interesting to see. Do you think there's any likelihood to these rumors? Because generally these rumors go many places to die. Just fall flat on their.
I mean, when we had Ned on, we were talking about how social media and how ridiculous, like one little comment goes out there and it just blows up. Like, Ohtani's on a plane to Toronto. Oh, that means he's going to the Blue Jays. Yeah. Oh, Wade and Yaz are rumored to be dealt by the Giants. Yeah. Who said that? Like, some media guy may have talked to a janitor working for the Giants and he might have mentioned it. And oh my God, it's all of a sudden breaking news. It's hard to know. It's hard to understand what is real, what is fake, what is rumor. But that's the world we live in right now, where any little breaking news, since no live baseball is going on, about this person going here and that guy going there, is going to get all excitable. So I don't really know what to believe. We've been covering the Giants on this channel for a couple of years now, and we know how much they love Yaz and Wade. So, I don't know how much they can get back for them. So I don't know. I'm kind of like, I'll believe it when I see it type of mode right now.
Yeah, it's really crazy because, you look at the just all the, like you said, the rumors, the Giants under Farhan, he's gone obviously now, but he only really made two significant trades that I recall. The first one was for Chris Bryant in the 21 season. Mm-hmm. And the next one was the trade for Robbie Ray, getting rid of Mitch Haniger and DeSclafani. But, it seems like Brian Sabian, when he was around, Bob Quinn, they made some big deals with the Giants. I remember the big 7-player deal that brought the Giants back Kevin Mitchell, Dave Dravecky, and who was the third person that the Giants got in that? Oh, Craig Lefferts. Yeah.
And that was interdivision with the Padres.
Yeah.
Which they say you're not supposed to do anymore. I don't know. It just seemed like back in the day, there were just more trades, and it wasn't, 48 hours before the trading deadline. It was done in the off season. It was done in May. It was done in June. Just, if a deal made sense for two teams, trades were done. And now, not so much.
Yeah. Oh, before I forget, I meant to put in here, guys, if you would like and subscribe to the channel. Our subs have been growing. We really do appreciate that. We are currently up to 3,835 subs. And those are organically gained. We appreciate that, guys. That is, no bot subs. We don't buy subs on this channel. I know some channels do buy subs, Los, to try to get monetized, which is kind of like, the Houston Astros banging the trash can, cheating their way to a title. Imagine having to buy subs.
Just banging the ground, banging the can. Yeah.
Cheaters, man. Just, there's guys out there, hardworking guys like even your Dynasty show, Cody, that really, really pushed hard to get over 1,000 subs. It took them a long time. And then there's other shows that just kind of, I just think that's bush league to buy subs to get yourself monetized. I mean, look, you should just land on your merit. If you got good content, it'll grow. It'll grow naturally. It takes time. And there's some of these channels that are out there have done that. I mean, they've done a good job of making content. Just let your channel grow organically. Put in the hard work, but don't, to cheat your way to get to a monetize and try to, compete and catch up with others. That just lose a lot of respect for that, and
we promote patience on this channel with the younger players and learning their craft, and the organization, keeping, an understanding that sometimes things don't happen right away, and we don't just say it, we act on it with our own channel and doing it the right way and being patient to let it grow.
It's just sad. And I think it was, I don't think both parties were involved in doing that. I think one had no idea and the other just so desperate to try to get to 1,000 subs and but the thing you got to be careful with that though. I've heard that you can actually get a strike for that. I don't know. Hopefully, I wouldn't want to see anybody lose their channel, but that could happen. I always got to be careful. We don't do anything crazy, because YouTube is very strict. So make sure we do it all above board. But anyway, let's get back to this trades talk here. But we do appreciate you guys subbing to the channel. It really does mean a lot. And we've worked hard. All of us have worked hard at NorCal Sports Network to put out good content and to grow the show. And we're going to continue to do that. And it takes a lot of time and effort to work at this. And, both Los and I, and in fact, the whole crew have regular day jobs. So to be doing this on a nightly basis and sometimes recordings during the day, it takes its toll. So we do appreciate your support. Yaz Wade, I don't know, Los. I just nothing moves the needle.
What are you going to get for them back? I mean, just like really.
Yeah, that's what I mean. What are you? Yeah, maybe you can package them together and maybe you can get a new pitching machine or something. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. We're going to be trading 2 dimes for, 3 nickels, and, it's going to be a different currency, but it's going to equal up to about the same thing, so I have no idea why it's not, they're not even worth mentioning. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, the Giants are willing to move off of Bailey. That would be news. The Giants are willing to move off of Logan Webb. Big news. The Giants are looking to move off of Wade and Yaz. Yeah. What?
Yeah. I mean, if somehow you were able to get a young, really good prospect, or get an everyday player that's got a good bat, that somehow you could package the two together. I don't see them going together though. And I don't know, I guess, what do you think? Do you think if one is more likely to be traded than the other, you think it's Yaz?
I think it's Yaz. I think they kind of hear a little bit of the noise more. And he, quite frankly, isn't as flexible as Wade is. I believe he's older than Wade. So maybe they're talking about including them in a bigger deal, like in a package deal. Who knows? But I would think that if one had to be moved more than the other. I think they're ready to move off of Yaz. Although we heard not too long ago that Buster really liked him. So we're getting mixed signals here. I guess it's going to really depend how they feel about their youngsters behind both of them and whether they have the confidence in them to replace them on the roster.
Yeah. And, one thing, I listened to Bob Melvin the other day, and I'm hearing him talk about Jung-Hoo Lee is not the leadoff hitter, more ideal in the second hole, which I think makes more sense. I heard him mention Lamont Wade as maybe an ideal leadoff guy because he gets on base so much. He's got last year for the first month of the season, maybe even before he got hurt, he was flirting with an on-base percentage of 500, which was incredible. He got off to a great start. I mean, I think if you utilize Wade properly, maybe he can get in that leadoff position, get on base with a lot of his walks. I mean, starting a game off with a walk's pretty nice. And I mean, I kind of think Wade's not too bad of a player. I think overall he's got some pluses to him. And like you said, he's more versatile. He can go out into the outfield and spare you some time. If you make your roster flexible enough, you don't have to carry as many guys. If you say, well, hey, do we really need a fifth outfielder? Maybe we carry 4 outfielders and Wade becomes our guy that can also be the 5th outfielder, and he can be a first baseman as well.
Swing guy. Yeah, swing guy. Yeah,
which allows you to carry maybe somebody else more need. Maybe you carry a guy with speed on the bench a little bit more for late inning, or you carry that extra pitcher because you don't want to tax your bullpen so much.
Unfortunately, the game being the way it is right now, you have to carry more pitchers on your roster than in the older days when you can carry more everyday players and mix and match and be able to pinch hit. Because starters don't go deep into games, you now can't get away with just like 5 guys in your bullpen. You have to have 8. So you have to have 13 pitchers on the roster and you have to have like 12, everyday players. And that just limits your maneuverability to be able to mix and match. And that's why I think the game has gotten to be where a player can't just play one position. He's got to play 2 or 3 positions because they're limited with everyday players. And that's just the way it is. So, Wade can play more positions, and I think that's what makes him more valuable.
And I want to pull up Wade's stats here and take a look. If you look at last year's home runs, he only hit 8. Now, he had 118 less plate appearances, but the year before he hit 17. But if you notice, his batting average has picked up the last couple years. He had the terrible 22 season where he was just really bad all the way around, production wise, batting average 256. He had more strikeouts. I'm looking at 23 and 95, but 51 strikeouts. But he had only a 305 on base percentage. Look at the last 2 years on base percentage, 373 and 380.
That's excellent.
I mean, you get up that high. That's really good. His OPS, respectable in the 7s, 790 and 23. But that on base percentage, if he can give you close to 500 plate appearances and maybe hit 15 homers and give you, on base percentage in that 375 and up range, that's not bad for a guy that I don't know how he goes in the hot streaks like all players do, but then he can go as cold as anybody. But he had a WAR. I know this WAR thing. People, I don't know. How do you feel about WAR, Los? I mean, a lot of guys look at WAR, and you look at a guy like Wade at 2.1 last year, 2.7 the year before. And, you compare that with somebody like a Luis Arias, who we all think would say is a better ball player than Lamont Wade.
No doubt.
But,
No doubt.
and you look at the WAR of Luis Arias last year, the batting title champ, okay, mind you, third year in a row, 1.0 WAR. On base percentage is less than Wade, but the guy just seems like he comes up in clutch situations. And I guess the question you got to ask yourself is, second and third, down by a run, 2 outs, do you want Wade coming up or you want Arias coming up?
All day, Arias. Yeah, I do not, to answer your question, I do not pay attention to WAR when I'm looking at stats whatsoever. The only WAR I like is the group. Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. Yeah, that's the only WAR I like.
Whiskey.
That's right. I do not pay attention to that stat whatsoever.
Wait, wasn't another WAR song?
Low rider.
Low. Duh. Get a little higher.
Yeah, that's
Dude.
George Lopez, the comedian, always comes out to that song.
Hey, so I could have given you a really good.
That's the only WAR I dig.
A little earlier, if it was early this morning when I woke up, I could have given you a really good lowrider, man. I had the hoarseness from the congestion. I've been dealing with a little cold this week and kind of over it, but it was like low rider, get a little higher. Take a little trip. Take a little. That's the only WAR that Los and I are interested in, guys.
That's right. We don't care about the stat WAR. I don't even know what that stands for. It stands
wins above replacement. So, like, who's your replacement? Well,
yeah. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to that. Exit velocity. Not too much. I'm just old school. Batting average, RBIs, on base percentage is a little important to me. I like to see. I like a player that strikes out about as equal, or maybe a little bit less than walks. When I see it, too many strikeouts and not enough walks, I don't like that kind of player. Unless they're hitting over 40 homers, I'm not a fan of that type of player because, like we talk about so much, they're basically Dave Kingman. They're home run or strikeout, and I never like those type of players. I like all-around players on my roster.
Here's the definition of WAR and how the formula itself. It's WAR equals batting runs plus base running runs plus fielding runs plus positional adjustment plus league adjustment plus replacement runs per win. To me, I give me the old eye test. I like a guy that hits the ball and gets on base hits the ball in gaps and comes up with clutch hits.
Scroll back down on that, Dan, real quick.
Let me
back to where you originally were.
Right here.
Yeah. That's what's wrong with the game and with analytics. Like, if they're really looking at this to determine and judge players, there's something wrong with the game. What the hell does fielding runs mean? Replacement runs. A run is a run. If I see a guy's foot in home plate, that's a run. Like, we're getting so technical now. Batting runs, base running runs, fielding runs. Do they get on base and do they score?
It's the geeks. It's the geeks like Farhan that have run this game, and that's why Farhan is gone. He's no longer Farhan. He's far gone now. Forget him. Gone is gone.
Far gone was a foregone conclusion.
And he's sitting here coming after Will Clark the other day.
I saw that.
Saying, come on, Fargon, we know you made the lineup out.
Yeah.
You technically didn't hand somebody the lineup card. You didn't say, here, Bob, here's the lineup card, but you certainly alluded to, we want this guy in, we want this guy in, and we want this guy, and we think he should bat at the top of the order. Okay, what are you going to do, Los, if your boss gives you, not a direct order, but says, Los, I really like you to do this if you could?
Well, the honest answer to that was 27 years ago, I quit and became self-employed. I didn't take orders too well. I love to be asked what to do. I don't like to be told what to do, and that comes with the territory when you work for somebody else. But no, I mean, when you play the game, like I was an outfielder, and our third baseman went down, and I had a pretty good arm, so they asked me to play, and naturally, when you shift positions, the ball finds you. So I had like 6 balls hit to me that day, and I had 2 errors, and that was my last time at third base. I hated it.
Oh, you were Bob Brenly. At least you didn't make 4.
Yeah, and I didn't hit a game-winning homer to offset it like Brenly did.
Oh my gosh, what a day that was!
Yeah.
What a day! What was that day? What was that? 19?
I want to say
82 or 81, 3 maybe. Bob
No,
Brenly.
I know it was during the Roger Craig era, because I remember Roger Craig said after the game, "Now that's the definition of a hum baby."
Oh, it was in 86. Yeah, it
I
was
wanna
a
say
horrible season.
Yeah,
It
I
was
wanna say
September
86.
14th, 1986.
There you go.
Guys, if you guys haven't been Giants fans that long, and I'm sure many of you have not been, the situation was this: the Braves were playing a game at Candlestick Park that only had 8,594 fans. Again, Lou Marston, who's obviously he's on this show all the time, he's one of our big co-hosts. He has alluded to this, Los, that there's really only about 12,000 real diehard Giants fans out there. And those are the ones that showed up at Candlestick all the time. And,
I believe it.
there's a lot of fans that have jumped on the Giants bandwagon in the last 15 years. And, they came after the World Series. A lot of these guys, I see them on social media. They attack me because last year, Lowe's, our channel, NorCal Sports Network, said the Giants were not a playoff team. We said they're not even a 500 team. And boy, when the Giants would go on a winning streak, you guys know nothing, clown. You're an idiot, this, that. I got called everything. And I just said, just wait a week, buddy. Just wait. And they'd never come back. They'd never come back and say, oh, you were right. Look, we're going to make predictions on this show. It's what we do. We take risk. We have a channel, okay? Do you want us to just sit here and tell us, like, we could just say, I don't know what they're going to do. What are we going to do? I don't know. Hey, man, come on, man. What are we going to do? But we're going to make our predictions, and we're going to be wrong sometimes, everybody. We're going to be way wrong. And you know what? We'll come back on the show and tell you we were wrong, okay? I was wrong about the Niners this year. I thought they would be a 13 win team. I was way off, okay? But you know what? Somebody who can actually be man enough to say, yeah, I was wrong, and then see things. And now I'd be surprised if they win another game, frankly.
If we were right all the time, we would be retired and just gambling all the time.
Yeah.
Like Back to the Future too. I would have all the answers and all the right scores and all the right predictions. We make observations, and we just predict what we think, and we're going to be right. We're going to be wrong sometimes. That's what it is. But we're accountable. We don't hide and run away when our own predictions are wrong, like a lot of you do. So keep that in mind.
But this was the 86 season, getting back to Bob Brenly, the errors you mentioned playing third base there. Nothing like Bob Brenly's day on September 14th, 1986. That was actually Will Clark and Robbie Thompson's first year, 1986. Yep. The Giants were 72-71, 9.5 games back of Houston on this day. And the Mike Lacoste, you remember Mike Lacoste?
Tall, red.
Yeah. Redheaded guy. Yeah.
Threw a lot of singles.
Yeah. And the situation was both pitchers. Let's see. Just reading here kind of what happened to give everybody it's just kind of history. It was the runs and the mayhem ensued in the fourth. Bob Brenly was playing third base for the Giants. This was not his usual position, although he had 51 previous appearances there in his career. in addition to his usual position of catcher, he had played first base and occasionally in the outfield. He would be the first to admit that he was not good at third base. And his error numbers support him. Of his 16 errors in 86, 10 were made at third base, despite only 45 appearances there.
Oh, wow.
Brenly found out 10 minutes before the game time that the Giants' usual third baseman, Chris Brown, I remember him, had come down with something and would be unable to play. And he borrowed a fielder's glove from Brad Wellman, a utility infielder. He said he never returned it. Brenly's first bobble was on a grounder by Bob Horner that bounced off his glove. A Ken Griffey Jr. single and a Rafael Ramirez sacrifice put runners on second and third. Ozzie Virgil was intentionally walked to load the bases. Hubbard grounded to third first. Brenly couldn't corral the ball. Then when he did, he threw it past the catcher, allowing 2 runs to score. Oh, look. Okay, it just went on. Was it 4 errors in the 1 inning, wasn't it?
It was 3 or 4, but then he had a walk-off, so
the game ended up going into the bottom of the 9th, and it said, let's see, Ossenmacher continued pitching in the bottom of the 9th. Maldonado grounded out to first. Chili Davis flied out to left, or to fly up center. Brenly worked the count full, then hit a slider over the left field fence to win the game for the Giants 7-6. His redemption was complete. His 4 RBIs equaled the 4 he allowed in the 4th inning. Yeah, it was all in the 4th inning. He said, I should get comeback player of the year for just 1 game, Brenly said after. I went from the outhouse to the penthouse. Bob Brenly was great. I'm fortunate, and you and I, Los, we live down here in Arizona. We get to listen to Bob Brenly on the Diamondbacks broadcast for years. And he's a classic. And a lot of people don't remember he was the manager when the Diamondbacks won the World Series.
You know, we talk a lot about coaches and managers and their value and how much they really help a team win. There's a perfect example of a radio broadcaster coming out of the booth. And it wasn't the first time. I believe somebody from the Padres came out of the booth. Didn't quite have as much success. But Brenly came out of the booth with no managerial experience whatsoever. But he had a talented Diamondbacks team led by Kurt Schilling and Randy Johnson. I mean, what a 1-2 punch in your rotation, and some clutch hitting. And they beat the Yankees in one of the best World Series ever. So, again, like we talk about quite a bit as it relates to football, baseball, and basketball, and hockey probably for that matter. Talent is a very primary reason that you win. And coaching and tweaks and adjustments and strategy certainly help that. But there couldn't be any more proof to back us up than Bob Brenly being a World Series winning manager. And I believe 2 years later he was fired. Just like that.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. You win the World Series, and then 2 years later, yeah. And yet the Giants hung on to Gabe Kapler all those years and wouldn't move off of him. And, yeah, it's something that we look at quite a bit when we see these teams that will not make changes because they're stuck in their ways. Trying to see when the Warriors play next. Saturday. Shoot, they got a 6:00 game against the T-Wolves tomorrow night. I was thinking we would be doing post-game tomorrow night, Giants. That's going to be, 6:00 Arizona time, so 5:00, so 7:30. You know what? We'll do a quick Warrior post-game tomorrow, then we'll do a Giants. We'll come back. So, but anyway, getting back, we'll wrap this up here, Los, when it comes to trades. I think if the Giants were to make a trade for Yaz, as you said, what are they going to get back? I kind of almost think Wade might, unless you're getting something really useful back for Wade, I think he's almost better being kept on the roster. Or, unless you're going to go out and sign, Pete Alonso You know, we mentioned Christian Walker's already signed with the Houston Astros. If you're going to go get an Alonso or a Goldschmidt to fill in for a year, or Carlos Santana, there's a Josh Bell out there. I don't know what the Giants have in mind. I can't see them going after Pete Alonso, though, personally.
I don't think so. Yeah, the other reason I think Yaz might be the guy to move is, they like to come off of his $9 million plus salary.
Yeah, that could help you maybe sign Burns too if you're struggling to sign Burns. I'm not sure what the holdup was on that. Look, guys, we're in the dark as anybody else when it comes to what's really happening. You know, you read guys on the internet, on Twitter that say, "Hey, this is going to happen." They're wrong constantly, and yet they put their name. They hide behind kind of fictitious usernames out there.
Big time.
And they don't put their full name on it. So, hey, look, I could go out there and call myself whatever, Chewbacca, and put my picture of Chewbacca on Twitter and just say like, hey, Burns is signing tomorrow night. I've got word on it, Trust
and it'll blow up.
Yeah. Come on. I guess I don't know what it is about getting a kick out of being a fictitious personality and calling yourself the GOAT or whatever. I don't know. Nobody has the courage to actually come out. I give credit to the people, the content creators out there on YouTube who are actually putting themselves out there and making their content be known, and they stand behind it. So,
yeah.
Live or die out with it. You're going to be right many times, you're going to be wrong many times.
It's getting very competitive between content creators, whether you're on this side or whether you're on that side on a certain topic. I'm seeing open challenges to invite people they disagree with, and I'm not talking about like subscribers. I'm talking about other content creators are inviting competing content creators to debate on a show about whatever topic it may be. Yeah. As long as it stays as a debate.
Yeah, as long as it stays cordial. Yeah, I mean, I would love to have that. I would love to have
well, we had that recently with Larry on, and when me and you were kind of anti Shanahan, and he was backing him up, and it was a good back and forth debate. So it can be done as long as
we'll have to do something on that. I put out. I don't know if hey guys, I do have a Twitter poll that'll be closing very shortly. You guys go check it out. It's about the 49ers and the Chargers. I don't know if you saw that one, Los.
I didn't see it.
Oh, the poll. Actually, I could pull it up here.
Is it Harbaugh versus Shanahan by any chance?
A little bit. I'll tell you what it is. I'll read it to you right here. Let me just pull it up. It's who has it better, and what package would you rather have as a 49er fan going forward?
I did see
LA
that.
Chargers have Harbaugh, head coach, Justin Herbert, quarterback, and their tackles are two young studs, Slater and Alt. Or would you rather be the 49ers with Shanahan, Purdy, and Trent Williams maybe for another year, and Colton McKivitz? Who do you think? Who do you think going forward is the ascending team?
No contest. If you know anything about the game, you're gonna, and you're not gonna pick with your heart. You're gonna pick the Chargers all day.
All day, man. Those two young bookend tackles that are in their early 20s. My goodness, or maybe mid 20s. What is Slater's maybe 25?
Slater's been in the year, 26, and also rookie.
Yeah,
two
come on.
Two bookend tackles. What a novel concept.
That's how you build a team. And Harbaugh, no wonder he was so excited when he saw that the Chargers draft position to take that job last year. He knew what he was getting into. He knew what he needed to do. And the Chargers are going to be. I'll bet you the Chargers win a Super Bowl before the Niners do.
The way it's going right now, they're on the upswing. Harbaugh's good for about 4 to 5 years. Now, maybe he'll change his personality. He'll be a little bit more mellow and not be so rebellious against ownership and management like he was here that kind of forced him out.
I think he's toned down a little bit.
I think
really
so
do.
too.
I saw that in his Michigan days. But what do you we'll end it here, Los. Guys, we'll end it here. But last night, 8 seconds left, he calls timeout. Shanahan would have never called timeout on that. Never in a million years. You're just like, all right, guys, let's just go to the locker room. 21-10. That changed the momentum of the game.
He'd have been looking at a play sheet, wondering what plays to start off the second half with.
Yes.
Like, again, just there's more to being a head coach than calling cool plays.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a great call. Great call.
Yeah. All right, guys. We thank you for being here, for being part of NorCal Sports Network. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're climbing toward, what did I say we were at? 38, 35. Oh, we're climbing toward 3,900, guys. And we will be at 4,000 soon. When we get to 4,000, we will have another contest. We'll be giving away a couple of more Giants tickets to a game next year. We'll also be giving away, we got signed autographed baseballs from Casey Schmidt to be given away here on the channel. So come back tomorrow night. We'll have another show for you on Saturday night, 7:45-ish. We'll probably have a little Warrior post-game show, and then we'll talk probably Giants baseball tomorrow night. So till tomorrow, everybody have a great Friday night. Take care.